You know that old saying, no good deed goes unpunished? Well, the same could be said about a crime as well. Hey guys, what's up? This is your boy Uzumaki Clan here today, and I'm going to be talking about Chapter 2 of Stephen King's It After the Festival in 1984. Now, this takes place years right after the murder of George Dembro, and this chapter focuses on on a gay couple, Adrian Mellon and Dawn Haggerty. And basically, this is taking place during the time of a yearly festival for the Canal in Derry, which takes place in July. And this festival has been celebrated since the 1800s. And we also get info on a local gay bar named the Falcon and the history upon its establishment during the 1970s. And during the festival, they are attacked by these group of homophobic bullies named John Webby Garton, Steve Dubai, Chris Irwin, and Paul Hughes. And they attack them because they feel insulted and they're homophobic, so they do not like gays whatsoever. Same thing could be said about the police officers, which I will be getting into in a minute. And so what takes place within the story is that basically they go out and they look for them, and once they find them, they go out and they attack both Adrian Mellon and Dawn Haggerty. But what ends up happening is that they push Adrian Mellon off of the bridge in Derry, and basically he's still alive. And then all of a sudden we get Pennywise, and basically what ends up happening is that Adrian Mellon ends up getting eaten by Pennywise. Well, not necessarily like eating his entire body, ate parts of his armpit and pretty much his throat. But that being said, this chapter is told from flashbacks at a hearing from a police station, and we get info from Harold Gardner, who was the son of Dave Gardner, who was the man who discovered George Dembro getting attacked by Pennywise the Clown. And we also get to learn a lot of history within Derry itself. And we get to really know these characters. And this is the masterpiece of King's establishment while writing characters. He puts characters on in paper, and he ingeniously writes them, and we get to really know the kind of people that they were. Just like in It, we get to really know almost every single minor character and their personalities and who they are, their names and everything. And so besides my little praising of King's writing, now going back on the police officers. Now in this chapter we can see that the police officers really do not like the gay community. In fact, they despise them altogether. They're just as homophobic as John Webby and his group of friends. You know, they kind of have a greater tolerance. They're very heartless, and they're extremely biased, especially towards the end, and prejudiced as well. We get to hear them talking about how they don't like fags and so forth, and they're very bigoted. And towards the end of the story, we get to find out that maybe they were right, because Don Haggerty, who was there while his boyfriend was being murdered, is reporting that he saw the clown himself, and he reported that he saw 1,000 balloons coming out of the coming out of the bridge, as well as everyone else did, and they all read I Heart Dairy, just like his boyfriend Adrian had on his hat. And basically, the police, of course, they don't buy this, so they never ever bring up the clown during the trial. And it's just extremely sad about how discriminatory these police officers are, and it brings the kind of realization within Stephen King's It that this could happen anywhere where you live. You know, there's going to be prejudice almost everywhere you go, and this really shows it, of how cruel people really can be. Also, things to be notified in this chapter, we actually get a little bit of information talking about Mike Hamlin, who is in the novel the main protagonist in the story. And we get to find out that he is the city's librarian and historian. And we get to hear we get to have a little bit of info about the foreshadowing about the Henry Bowers gang as well, and the areas where, you know, the acts of cruelty was set upon. So pretty much this chapter was very solid, and I was actually extremely terrified, especially towards the end of this chapter, because the way how Pennywise appears within this chapter is actually very disturbing. And I don't want to spoil anything, because